So now we'll go for data types in Java. What is my data type? What is my data type and what are the types we are having in this? The type of data which is used to, which is used in the program, This type may be, maybe an integer, it may be a float, it may be a string, or it may be a character. It may be a string or character. So these data types are classified into two categories. First one is called primitive data type, and the second one is called as non-primitive data type. Next one, non-primitive data type. Primitive data type is nothing but like like integer, float, string, character. Those are all primitive data types. Non-primitive data types like arrays, functions, classes, objects, next interfaces, all this comes under non-primitive data type. The reference of the primitive data type will always be called as a non-primitive data type. The reference of the primitive data type are called as a non-primitive data type. Now, what is meant by primitive data type is nothing but the data type which is predefined in the library is called as primitive data type. Which is predefined in the library is called as a primitive data type. Some of the primitive data types are integer, float, character, integer, float, character. All these will comes under primitive data types. Like long, short, float, double, boolean. All these are comes under primitive data types. Now, non-primitive data types, nothing but the reference of the primitive data type will always be called as a non-primitive data type. So mean that we are going to derive from the primitive data types. Those are called non-primitive data types, like strings, arrays, classes, next functions, next abstract classes, inheritance will always be called as a non-primitive data type. This is called non-primitive data type. Now, can you give an example for the primitive data type? Yes, we already given that integer. We already studied up integer int roll number equal to 12. Next, float marks equal to 23.00. float. Character grade equal to A grade. Next, short, long, double, all are same. You don't need to go with that. So like if you are going using, we usually use in Java, we use only double A equal to 12.000. After decimal, if you give any number of values, it will be accepted, double. But float is after decimal, if you give 2 to 3 elements, then we'll call float. More than 3 elements will always be a double value. Okay, double value. So double, long, short, these are all comes under decimal values. Okay, decimal values. Now, so these are all primitive data types. Non-primitive data types like string, name equal to testing. Arrays, we can use arrays also, like we'll discuss later. Arrays is like single dimension array, multi-dimension arrays are there. We'll discuss those things. Classes, we all those things will come in the upcoming classes. We'll study those things. So arrays, functions, next abstract classes, inheritance. These are all OOPS concepts, object oriented programming language concepts. All these will come under non-primitive data type. Now, so primitive data type are integer, float, character, string, double. And one more is also there. Boolean operator is there. Boolean is, it may be true. Boolean, it may be true or false. Boolean operators are true or false. Those two will come under Boolean operators, true or false. So these are all primitive data types and non-primitive data types. Come to non-primitive data types. Now, so we can add two integers, you can add two float values, you can add two characters. We can't add two characters. We can't add the two characters. Since when you want to add two characters, it will automatically convert into the ASCII code. So we can't add two characters, but we can add two strings, Bala, Krishna. So two characters are there, two words are there. We can concatenate those two. Okay, we can concatenate those two. So we can add two strings, but we cannot add two
Characters.
two characters. Right click on that, go to new, click on the class, mention as data types, public static void main, click finish. So here I'm going to use integers. Int a equal to 10, int b equal to 20, int c equal to 30, or int c equal to a plus b. I already discussed arithmetical operations. We can add two integers. We can add two, we can subtract. Okay. So addition, subtraction, we can perform it. Right? We can perform the addition, operations can be performed. Integers can add to integers. For example, so we use system.out.println of C. If I use like this, so what is the result we are getting out? What is the current element that value will be displayed? So we need to change it to C1, C2, C3, C4, C5. So in that way, you can view and you can add the integers. So this is for adding the integers, adding subtractions, multiplication, we can perform it. Similarly, slash star and ends with the star slash. Next, we can add float values. Float values. Float a equal to 12.00. Float b equal to 30.00. It will ask to see. Float c equal to a plus b. Now see, it is going to, in Java we cannot use float values, that we can use, but it will automatically ask you to convert into double values. See, double. So it shows you to convert into the double values. So there is no point of giving the float values. Directly can give c equal to double values. So there's the c. So system dot out dot println of c. So automatically when you compile it, it shows the result as, it will concatenate the values. Okay. So this is a double float, everything we can work it out. Okay. Na? These are float values and double values. Now we can concatenate, we cannot concatenate the string characters. Okay, characters. Character A equal to some value, some A. Character B equal to some B. Now, character C equal to A plus B. So it will, when you are using this, it will automatically ask you to convert into an integer. It will ask you to convert into the integer. So when you convert it, it shows the result will be displayed in the, it will automatically convert these characters into ASCII code. It will convert into the ASCII code. So system.out.println of C. Okay. Na? So when you compile it, so it shows that the value of A is 95 and the value of B is 96, the memory locations. So it converts into ASCII code and this ASCII code will be displayed. So this we cannot concatenate the two strings, two characters. We cannot concatenate the two characters. Now, next one, we can concatenate the strings. So string A equal to testing tools. Testing. String A equal to testing. String B equal to tools. So string C equal to, so system.out.println of C. So that means that we can concatenate the two strings. Can concatenate the two strings. What is the error getting out? Got it? So testing tools. Okay, na? Chandu, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So this is how we are going to concatenate the strings. So now these are all the strings. Okay, integers, float, double, strings, characters. Now we can go with the Boolean operators. Boolean operators is true or false. Boolean operators, true or false. A equal to true. B equal to false. Print. So system dot out dot println of A plus B. See, cannot resolve with the variable A. Cannot resolve with the variable A. So how you are going to use this? We cannot concatenate. We can't add two Boolean operators. So true plus false, we cannot add this. See, so we need to use Boolean. We need to use Boolean. Okay. Boolean. Okay. We need to declare with a Boolean. Boolean B equal to. So now we can use Boolean A equal to. So automatically it will ask you. See, the operator plus is undefined to an argument type Boolean operator. Mean that we cannot add two Boolean operators. We cannot add two Boolean operators. For example, you want to get the value of A, whether it is true or false. So just if I use that, so it will print the value of A. So what is the value printed? A value is true. So the true will be printed. Similarly, system.out.println B. Okay. If A equal to true, we can write the conditions also. If A equal to true, if A equal to true, we can write system dot out dot println A. A true అయితే A print అవ్వనర్థం. Else we can write one more condition. Else system dot out dot println B print చేయమనర్థం. Okay, if A equal to true, then C. If I run the program, automatically what will it shows? C. It will print true since A equal to true kabatti. A equal to true kabatti. For example, A equal to false and bittam anukondi. So if I give A equal to false, what is the result we are getting out? We'll get the result as false. We'll get the result as false. I'll try to make this as, I don't want to execute this too. Just I'm giving A equal to true, B equal to false. I'll check if A equal to false, print A, else B. So just run the program. So now, see what it is printing. A is not false. Okay, na? So automatically comes else part, B equal to false. So okay, na? So this is how we are going to check the Boolean operators. These are the Boolean operators. So these are all primitive data types. Non-primitive data types are arrays, next classes, objects that we'll see in the upcoming classes. Okay, so these are all primitive data type and non-primitive type. Next we'll go with the conditional statements. Now we'll go for conditional statements. What are the conditional statement? Here, if is a conditional statement. If is a conditional statement. Here, what is the condition of if? Can anybody tell me what is if condition? Shows. Anybody? If is used to test the condition. Used to test the condition. If the condition is true, if the condition is true, then it will executes the relevant statement. Else it will executes the final statement. The final statement. The syntax is if condition, next under that we can go with the statement 1, else we can go for else statement 2. This is the condition. So if you go for example, A equal to int A equal to 10, we'll go with this here. So I'm going to create a class. Right click on day 1, go to new, click on the class, conditional statements, public static void main, click finish. Showing you int A equal to 10, int B equal to 20. Now I'm going to write if A greater than B, then system dot out dot println A is greater. Okay na? Else, so system dot out dot println B is greater. So okay, so it will check the condition. See, B is greater. Okay na? So what will happen? First it will check this condition. If this condition is true, then it will execute this statement. Else it will execute the second statement. Okay na Chandu? This
Yes,
is how
sir.
we are going to check the conditional statements. This is called single if statement. This is called single if statement. Single if statement. Now, in the single if statement, we can also use one more if also. Else if, that is called nested if. If within, you can use any number of else if conditions. If A is greater than B and A is greater than C, we already worked in the logical operators. The next one is called as nested if condition. If the condition is true, then it will execute first statement. Else, if the condition is true, then it will execute second statement. Else, if we can check any number of conditions. If the condition is true, then it will execute third statement. Else, it will execute final statement. Now, so for that, we can go with the A, B, C. I'm going to give, so int C equal to 30, right? So if A is greater than B, and A is greater than C, right? A is greater than B and A is greater than C. Okay, so A will be greater. We can write if condition also. If, else if A is greater than C, B is greater than A, and B is greater than C. B is greater. We can write else. So system dot out dot println C is greater. Okay, na? See, if this condition is true, it will execute the first statement. Else, if the condition is true, then it will execute second statement. Else, it will execute the third statement. When you compile it, automatically just run it. See, got it, Chandra? Okay, na?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So this is the nested if. You call it as a nested if statement. This is the example for nested if. So we can give any number of conditions within the if condition. Can we do using scanner? I want to check. Can you write a program to check whether the given number is positive or negative using if condition? Right, write a program to check whether the given number is positive or negative. How do you check? Anybody? Write a program to check whether the given number is positive or negative. How do you check that program? How do you write? Anybody? Can we check it?
Yes.
How do you write?
Scanner SC is equal to new.
Scanner SC equal to new scanner
New
of
system dot in.
Now I'm going to declare int x comma int x. Okay, I'm going to declare only one variable. Now what I can do?
System dot println.
So you can write system dot out dot println. Enter the value. Okay.
Value.
If x is greater than 0, okay na? Can I write like this? System dot out dot println positive. Okay, na? Right? Else if x is less than 0, if x is less than 0, then I can write system dot out dot println negative value. Okay, na? Negative value. Next. Else out dot println 0. Okay, na? 0. అంతే కదా, కాకపోతే 0. Positive, negative. Okay, see, I'm going to enter the value first. What happened?
Conditional statement. The local variable x may not be initialized. We are not given the any x value.
Okay, sorry. X equal to sc dot next in, right?
Yes.
So first it will ask enter the value. If I give 10, so positive. Okay, na? Positive. Next, when you compile again, if I give minus 29. Okay, na? Negative values.
Yes.
If I give 0. Okay, so this is the how to check the given number is. We can also check for the even number or odd number. Okay, we can also check for even number or odd number also we can check. So how do you check the even number or odd number? Just x percentage equal to 2. Okay, na? X percentage 2 equal to 0. If it is 0, then even number. Okay, na? Even number. Else you can write as, you don't need to have else odd number. Else odd number. Else you don't need to have else partner. It doesn't require any this part, right? So so I'm giving the value. Now if I run the program, so I'm giving the value 13 odd number, right?
Yes.
Even number. Even or odd? Even or odd. Okay, na? So this is how to check the even number or odd number. So in that case, we can go with the, so giving the checking the number even or odd using the if condition operators. If condition operators. Next we'll go for switch statement. Switch statement. Can anybody tell me what is the switch statement? For example, we have 4 areas, like in Hyderabad, we consider as Kukatpalli Housing Board, Miapur, Chandanagar, and some location BHL, right? I'm going to check the condition. If my area is Kukatpalli, then whatever the things we need to work it on that, it will go to the particular statement and it will execute and come out of them. It won't check the remaining places. depending upon the condition, it will switch to the particular case and it will execute that case and it will come out from the loop itself. Okay, na? So the switch is based on the condition, the case statement will be executed. The case statement will be executed. So the switch is based on the condition, the case will be executed. So here the switch statement allows us to execute one statement, of many from in one statement from many statement. One statement from many statements. One statement from many statements. So, and these statements are called as, and these statements are known as cases, are known as case. So one statement of many statement is called as a cases. So inside the body, we can do any number of cases. Depending upon the condition, it goes to the body and it will execute a particular case and it will come out from the loop itself. So syntax is, so you may ask myself, when do we use this switch statement in the real time? When you want to check for cross-browser testing, or when you want to test your parallel testing, so in that case, we can use switch statement. So when you're working with the cross-browser testing or when you're working with parallel testing, in that case, we can go for switch statement. Okay. So now I'll give the syntax for you. Switch open bracket, close bracket. So in that, inside that, I'm going to initialize the value. Now I'm going to use the switch statement. Under the switch statement, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to use case 1, statement 1, break. Case 2, statement 2, break. Similarly, case 3, statement 3, break. Okay. So case nth statement. So we can't use statement n. So we use default. In that case, statement n. That's all. We don't need to use break statement here. In this break statement, we don't need to use that. So here in the switch statement, we can pass the values. Based upon the values. See, for example, integer initializing value, integer 1, I equal to 1. If I use that, I can be placed, I can parameterize that I value into the switch statement. So I equal to 1 means it will come to the case 1, it will execute the case statement and break, it will come out from the loop itself. If you go with an example, integer I equal to 1, for example, I'm going to use switch 1, switch I. Now under that, I'm going to use case 1. System.out.println. This is my first case. Okay. I'm giving this inside the, and after that, I'm going to use break. Similarly, case 2, right? Case 2. So under the case 2, I'm going to use system.out.println of this is my second case. So I'm going to use break statement, right? Okay, something like default. System.out.println invalid. So now see, what is the value we are given here? I equal to 1. I have initialized this I value. I've been parameterized the I value to the switch statement. Now I will be 1. So switch 1. So mean that it will come to this case 1. it will execute this statement and it will come out from the loop. It won't check for the second one. It won't for check second two, second three. So based on the condition, the statement will be executed. The statement will be executed. See, now we'll see here with an example.